If one more person says, just be consistent or stick with the routine, I'm going to explode. Does that sound and feel familiar? Because if you have been consistent and bedtime still takes 3 hours, what do? Hi, I'm Diane Lusney, and I support moms with kids on the autism spectrum, age 4 to 12, who are struggling with their sleep. And today, I'm going to reframe why the advice you've been given might not be working and what to focus on instead. Point 1, consistency isn't enough. Here's what most sleep advice gets wrong when it comes to consistency. It assumes that if you just follow the same steps in the same order every night, your child's brain will eventually learn to fall asleep on cue. But for some kids, consistency is only part of the equation. It's not enough on its own. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to bake bread and someone gives you a recipe that says, mix this list of ingredients and put it in the oven. While that's technically correct, if you don't know the temperature, the timing, the way to mix things, the way the dough needs to rise, and that it needs to be kneaded, you're going to end up with a mess. That's what's happening with bedtime routines. The steps are there, but they're missing something, which is the nervous system being regulated. Your child's brain doesn't just need predictability, it needs to feel physiologically safe and calm enough to let go and to sleep. That requires more than a routine for some. It requires understanding what their nervous system needs at that moment. What you can do. Tonight, before you start your usual bedtime routine, check in with your child's nervous system state. Ask yourself, are they bouncing off the wall, or are they already starting to wind down? If they're still activated, running around, talking loudly, or seeking out a lot of movement, pause the routine. Instead, spend a few minutes doing something that helps them discharge that energy in a controlled way. Do slow squats or slow wall push-ups where you push hard against the wall for 10 seconds, rest and repeat. Or carry something heavy across the room a few times. Or, if it isn't too emotionally competitive, arm wrestle, testing both your left and right arms, but only if the movement is slow and doesn't get either of you excited. Once they've released that excess energy, then you start your bedtime routine. You're not abandoning consistency. You're making sure the routine can actually work. I'd love to hear from you. What advice were you given that actually made things worse? Leave a comment below. Maybe there's someone else who has had the same experience and would love to know that they aren't alone. Point 2, behavioral advice versus biological reality. Here's a second issue. Most sleep advice is behavioral. It's built on the idea that if you change what your child does, their body will follow. And that works, sometimes. But if your child has a dysregulated nervous system, it's backwards. You can't behavior manage your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. Imagine telling someone who's having a panic attack to just calm down. It doesn't work, right? Because panic is a nervous system response, not a choice. The same thing is happening at bedtime. Your child's nervous system is in a state that doesn't allow sleep, and no amount of rules, rewards, or consequences will override that biology. You need to address the biology. This is why you've probably tried everything: sticker charts, earlier bedtime, stricter boundaries, and nothing has stuck. It's not because you're doing it wrong or that they're resisting. It's because those strategies don't address the root issue, which is nervous system dysregulation. What you can do. Tonight, try this. When your child resists going to bed or gets out of bed repeatedly, instead of reinforcing consequences, get curious about their nervous system. Ask yourself, what is their body telling me it needs right now? If they're getting up for water constantly, their mouth might be dry from stress. If they're asking for more hugs, they might need more physical grounding. If they're talking nonstop, their brain might still be processing the day. Meet the nervous system need first. Give the hug, offer the water, sit quietly with them for 2 minutes, then guide them back to bed. Depending on their level of understanding, talk this through with them so they can connect with their body better. Point 3. What your child actually needs. For some, consistency isn't enough, and behavioral strategies don't work. They need their nervous system to feel safe, grounded, and calm before you even start asking them to sleep. This means focusing less on the clock and the routine and more on your child's internal state. Are they still buzzing from the day? Are they sensory seeking or sensory avoiding? Are they emotionally dysregulated? Those are questions that matter because until the nervous system is regulated, sleep won't happen. Think of it this way. Bedtime isn't a switch that you can flip. It's a runway your child's nervous system needs to land on. And if that runway isn't clear, if they are still activated, still processing, still on high alert, they can't land the plane, so to speak. And no routine will make them sleep. What you can do tonight, create a landing pad for your child's nervous system. Assess your child and decide on a timeline, maybe 15 to 30 minutes before you start your regular bedtime routine. Move to a calming and enjoyable for them activity. You might be a part of it, but it's better for you to spend time now if that reduces the time and stress of the bedtime routine. The goal isn't to sleep yet. It's giving their body a place to physically land and decompress. This small shift tells their nervous system it's okay to slow down now. After maybe 10 to 15 minutes in this space, transitioning into the bedtime routine becomes easier because their body has already started the landing process. One tool that can help create that runway is my free T-zone system for relaxation and sleep. It's a simple sensory-based approach that helps your child's nervous system downshift before bedtime even starts. If you haven't grabbed it yet, the link is in the description below. Now you understand what you already knew. Consistency matters, but it's not the whole solution. The real focus needs to first be on the nervous system regulation, not on rigid routines. But are you asking yourself this question? Okay, so what actually helps? What helps my child transition into sleep without a 3-hour battle? That's exactly what I'm going to share with you in the next video. What actually shortens bedtime for kids on the autism spectrum? The pattern you need to know.